All right, we're live again. What's up? It's been, we missed a week. Everybody's been mad busy.
We're catching up though.
Yeah, I'm like at 70%. People trying to get me sick right when I start some new job. They got the AC on in this office building at -20. I don't think I'd ever get cold out here in Hawaii, but these people, they did the impossible. They were like, you know what? Hawaii can get cold. We're going to show you how. I see everybody wearing sweaters and jackets there. Like, I'm like, why are people wearing jackets downtown? Now I get it. They got the AC cranking in these office buildings. Anyways, you back. It's Tech, Etc. This is episode 5. A lot of stuff went down. I got the gracious co-host.
It's your boy Mikhail Casanova. What's good, everyone?
Don't mind the coffee because it's going to happen. I know he got a lot on his mind.
Yeah. I got a lot to say.
We're going to get to that. I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, Computex happened. Nintendo announced some information that everybody's been waiting for.
Oh Lord, people are. I'm on the forums right now. They're complaining. Why would I pay $1.67 a month for something as shitty as Nintendo Online?
You know, I'm gonna need people to stop acting like they don't be going to get $1.67. I know y'all be going to McDonald's. Them burgers ain't crazy. We all be getting them 2 for $3. So stop it. Like, just give them that $1.67. Because guess what? Nintendo basically just saying, you might say everything you want to say, but guess what? If you ain't paying, you ain't playing. So that's how it's going on in 2018. So all these complaints and everything are gonna get met with a, guess we're not playing on Splatoon online. Guess you ain't playing no Mario Kart. Guess you ain't playing whatever else game comes out that's online. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. That's how they're gonna do it. Ain't gonna be nothing else. But this is part of the course though, because
it never stops.
No. It's because Nintendo, I mean, we both can relate. Nintendo's done stuff. They've been the free guys, you know, they've been the fun place, play things for free, play online. They never were playing in the field of like Xbox Live and PSN Network. I mean, you heard people getting mad when PlayStation realized that they weren't going to play that free game anymore because they probably saw the revenue Microsoft was making. They're like, we've been playing ourselves.
Right. And
that's, I mean, people might not say that, but like, always needed to make better infrastructure, but no. No business like Sony is going to be looking over at their competitor every quarter talking about, oh yeah, we made near $1 billion on Xbox Live. They're like, oh snap. Especially for a company like Sony that was almost out of there multiple times. They need revenue. PlayStation's keeping them alive and well. So they need to do anything and everything they can. What are you showing me right here?
Power bank for the Switch.
Oh, is that the one that they...
That's lovely, actually.
It looks nice, but is that like really portable? It looks like a big... Is that Nintendo's or that somebody else's?
This is from a company called Retro Fighters.
If it's compact enough to bring it to you, it makes sense because you can just dock your Switch on it.
It's got USB input and everything.
Only thing is it's not handheld. That's what people are going to say.
True.
You can't hold it in your hand. You got to put it down and then put the Joy-Cons in your hand. Or use a Pro Controller. Which isn't bad if you got it set up a certain way. So that can work. We're looking at some battery because you know all the switch ons. We already know like you wiping that battery out if you're getting down to get. So it is what it is. But I mean, what's your thoughts on this online? Like, what do you think? Do you like this phone app?
Okay, and I'm gonna say this. And I brought it up on Player Essence's live stream when he talked about it, and he agreed. Now, we've been using phone apps for game consoles for the better part of at least the last 6-7 years. I mean, think about it. We had Xbox 360 app. We had the PlayStation Network app for a while. Yeah, we've had that for a good while. It's easier to chat using the app on the phone.
Yeah, they just didn't allow voice.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they did.
You know, versus having to use the controller itself. Like, I feel like people don't understand that we've been doing this already. It's nothing new. It's just the fact that it's coming from Nintendo and they're held to this double standard. And that's also their fault. for allowing themselves to get put in that position.
I mean, I think they're fighting out of it properly by just saying it's just going to cost this much and that's it. I mean, what are you going to do? You can be mad all you like, but if a company says it costs this much to get down on playing online, then you just going to pay that. You don't want to pay it. And I think Nintendo has a very strong enough base that the people that are trying to play online, they're not about to put up some boycott. Like, it's different if, like, Sony or Microsoft came back and said, yo, Xbox Live is now 120 a year. Then I'd be like, yo, y'all,
we're done.
Are playing around. Like,
yeah, we're done with that.
This is $20, people. $20 a year. I'm surprised. You remember I was on record saying this junk gonna be 60. Ain't no way they're doing no 20. It's gonna be 40 at minimum, and that was still gonna be cheap considering that it's under everybody else. But 20, I mean, at that price, we in the streets. You already know this. Okay, I told you we on the corner. Literally, I'm looking out the window. I see the street. Yep. This is Hawaii is a dense city. We explain this every time. You already know what this is. You hear some cars, just appreciate the realness. Yeah, I mean, the complaints just come from the fact that everybody wants everything free. I mean, free is better than paying. I mean, obviously, who doesn't want free? But you know what? I always argue this. You want service, quality, then making sure voice chat servers are good, online servers are good. I mean, we work in IT. That junk ain't free.
Nope.
Like, ain't no servers free, ain't no cloud-based. Like, they're getting their money somehow. Amazon does Prime. They give you all this free storage because they're getting their money. They're getting that $100 a year from, like, an easy. Millions of people. Millions of people giving them that $100 for the Prime. Microsoft makes their money off Xbox Live to keep them servers going. Sony's doing it now. It just is what it is. There's just no way we're doing it. Now, the phone app, I personally like the phone app because if it's done properly, the portability in, like, let's just put it this way, right? Let's just say right now on Xbox, especially Xbox, because they got some proprietary headphone situation that always makes me mad. You got to buy a specific headphone, right? Like, PS4 people do have it better because whatever headphone you can buy for a PC or a PS4 works both ways. Xbox, you got to get chat cables. You got to get specific Xbox ones that don't move over to a PC or a PS4 if you have all consoles, or you get PC game. So it's annoying. Now, if this app allows you to use any headphone that you plugged into your phone, like the cheap ones that the iPhone gets, the AKG ones that came in the S8.
Or the V-motors we're using now.
Or, yeah, exactly. These Premier V-motors I got in my head. It just allows me to talk on my phone through the app, communicate with people I'm playing with. That's easier done. Of course, the argument's going to be maybe everybody don't got a cell phone. Now, which is, I mean, it's a valid argument for people that are young. Now, the one caveat I can see is the data. Like, I mean, if you're playing online, you got to be somewhere near Wi-Fi, right? You're not playing online any other way.
True.
And so, I don't know if it takes data from your phone, because, see, then that can be a little tricky, because now I'm eating up data on my T-Mobile plan as opposed to my Time Warner cable when I'm playing online. Like, see, they got to find a way to do that. Now, of course, if you're at home, you can just pair it to Wi-Fi. If you're out in the street and you're playing online, you probably had Wi-Fi somewhere. So that's probably how they're betting this. They're like, you ain't playing online unless you're on Wi-Fi or you have it hooked up to Ethernet. So either way, you're near internet. You ain't soloing this.
You know, actually, nobody's brought that up as a valid point. You're the first to bring that up.
I mean, how is he playing online? Everybody's complaining like, yo, well, if you don't have internet, I'm like, then you're not playing online. So then you're not chatting. And why would I chat with my friends through a Nintendo app? I can just call them.
True.
Like, let's be real. This Nintendo app is specifically for playing Nintendo Switch online. Like, I don't want to hear. I know Nintendo's gonna be like a place to meet friends, whatever. WhatsApp, Telegram, freaking Snapchat, Twitter. Like, there is way too many other messaging apps available in this world for me to be relying on Nintendo to keep me connected, right? The only thing I'm looking at them to do is keep me connected when I'm playing Splatoon, okay? When I'm playing ARMS. Outside of that, don't matter. So you're not ever going to be playing something online and not have internet.
I don't think a lot of you people out there understand how serious Splatoon was getting. Because a lot of people didn't play Splatoon 1. We played it almost religiously. And if you didn't, I mean, it made it harder when you're just going around splatting everywhere.
That game desperately needed chat.
It needed.
I mean, you could have done it, but it was a very roundabout way. But man, you not being able to talk to your team was like. I mean, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, I played with my friends who used to have teams." Yeah. But when you got 3 other people and you ain't communicating, that jump could be a free fall, which is fine. I mean, that's kind of some of the allure to the game. Is like you kind of didn't know because you're just kind of trying to do your part as opposed to teaming up. But the only thing that I can say is that I do kind of want Nintendo to move a little bit faster. Because I know they said free until 2018, but they didn't say when this thing was launching. And Splatoon 2's around the corner.
Well, they got that beta.
Yeah, I know that. When's that coming?
If not this month, then next month.
Well, that would be good because we need something. I mean, we need something on Mario Kart. We need everything to be gone. I mean, you were saying something earlier that the reasons why they delayed it to 2018.
Oh yeah. So from one of the inside information people I got the plug. What they ended up with one of the supposed reasons that Nintendo is delaying it is because they're working with Microsoft to establish a solid online base. And it makes sense. I mean, if you're going into online for the first time and they want to use Microsoft servers, I believe they want to use OneDrive all the way through.
Oh, they want to piggyback on the back end of it.
That makes sense. I mean, I would rather them do that than use, iCloud.
I mean, honestly, Nintendo doesn't... I mean, maybe they do. I mean, they're a big company. But I don't know of their experience in infrastructure servers. Like, everybody knows, like, we play games on Xbox Live stuff. I mean, rarely do you have really connection issues. I'm playing Titanfall 2, and I mean, it takes something pretty epic to start slowing that thing down online. So they have a solid structure. I mean, if that's one thing Xbox Live has, I'm sure some people are going to say your mileage may vary. Of course, everybody got a story about it not working well for them, but as a whole.
Really?
I mean, there's always something.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, as a whole, like, I argue Live is, like, one of the best, if not the best, online service as far as stability and performance.
At least it never got hijacked for, like, a month like PlayStation Network. Yeah, I remember when that happened.
PlayStation Network had my boy copping surfboards in Cape Town. Like, that junk was wild. When that... Man, and you know the funny thing is that happened at a good time for them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because if that would have happened this day and age, these cats would, I don't know if they'd be surviving the online Twitter, social media, forum backlash. I mean, they got enough of it. But right now, if that goes down after all the numerous hacks and whatnot, I mean, people got accounts hacking left and right. People losing marriages. I mean, look at that Ashley Madison. Like, folks, the information is getting hacked out here. So
yeah, that's actually why they went to the paid platform, was because of that attack. Because they realized that their servers.
Yeah, you gotta pay. Like, where are you getting the money? You're getting the money from your hardware. You're getting the money from your first-party games, and then what? Like, your revenue stream needs to be. This is why we were having that conversation with a friend DV, and we were talking about like. Apps and services and, games as a service, stuff like that. Like, that's becoming a big deal. Like, you pay a subscription for Adobe. You don't buy the Adobe outright like you used to. You're paying for Office now, unless you're like education or enterprise. Netflix. All this stuff is kind of showing a business model that's like a revenue stream that's continuing. And that's what people want now. They're like, well, if I'm going to keep this up and running, especially if you have to access it on a daily, I need it up and running. So I'm kind of willing to pay for that. So when Nintendo said 20, I'm like, that's on the low. So I'm hoping that it's enough to keep them going. Like, the worst thing that they can do is charge 20 and not work out that well. And then all of a sudden they got to come back talking about 30 or 40. People be flipping out.
True.
Rightfully so. I'll be like, well, they did say 20. And now it's 30.
We kind of did. We touched on that before, that the best price point was going to have to be between 40 and 20. And they went with the low.
I really thought this joint was going to be 40 to 60, literally.
Yeah, for real. I was
like,
surprised.
No way.
So here's something I'm looking at on GameFAQs. Here we go. So there's a poll that states, what's a fair price for Switch online gaming per year? So out of $220.
Next.
Out of 220 for votes, you had $60, $50, $40, $30, $20, $10, $5 should be free. Guess what won out? Should be free.
If you don't get this out of my... Maybe it's because we work in this back-end world and we realize, like, this stuff ain't just running on magic fairy dust, okay? Like, something gotta be maintained, and that means there needs to be personnel, there needs to be hardware, there needs to be software licenses. That costs money. Okay. Nintendo got a lot of money, but they're definitely not about to... Yo, let's be honest. Everybody's charging. They join in the fray, okay?
I feel like...
Cause they ain't going to gain no more extra people for being free. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be, oh, Nintendo's free. Everybody's going over there now. Like, that ship sailed. Sony rode that train until it was like, we charging. They rode it for 10 years on PS3. And all that time, Xbox was charging and still beating PS3 at their own game.
Didn't they started charging with the original Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah, Xbox Live was always a charge. I mean,
yeah,
I could be wrong. Maybe it was free for a brief time, but all I remember that it always costs from the get-go.
Yeah.
Now, of course, things have changed for this generation as far as where Sony's at. But you think they're not reaping the benefits of having the most consoles sold out there as all the PSN networks?
And that's the thing too. Like, a lot of people don't understand why Nintendo. They're like, oh, you know, they're playing catch up. But here's the thing: in Japan is not huge on online gaming like we are here in the West.
They're kind of were. Well, they do a lot of land. Well, they're kind of like in person with it, right?
Yeah, more in person, like arcades, pachinko things.
Yeah.
They have more tournaments, but they're bigger into like StarCraft and whatnot than they are playing like shooters are not anywhere near as popular. Maybe FIFA. I can see FIFA being popular.
Mm-hmm.
But like culturally for them, it's not as significant. And that's why Sony and Nintendo were kind of behind Microsoft, because you have to look at the fact that Microsoft is kind of ahead of the curve.
Well, they've had Live for forever. Where they're losing now is that, I mean, I like my Xbox, but I mean, PS4 is banging out titles at a very steady rate. It might have started slow, but it was like a train. Like, now it's moving.
For real.
So, I'm got to buy another PS4. I had a PS4 2 times. I sold it each time because I couldn't make money, and there wasn't nothing in the beginning that was selling me on it. I kind of wanted Gran Turismo and Drive Club to be amazing because I'm a racing game fan. They weren't. And Forza was knocking it out the park, and so that's where I'm at. But
you want a knack too?
Knack, I thought was going to be something special. It was trash. Knack 2, I mean, we'll give it a shot. We're going to see. If anything, I guess you can, this is getting to, E3. That's, what's that, next week?
Yeah, we're going
to We're about to go to this, on the 12th, we're about to go to this movie theater to see this Sony thing live. I need to see this up close. And, this E3 is going to be serious because people's guns is cocked and loaded. Nintendo is kind of safe because they're playing to their strength. This fight is now squarely with Sony and Microsoft because Microsoft has a Scorpio. We already seen the hardware. This joint can crank out serious graphic fidelity. But the caveat is always going to be the games, and I'm not going to necessarily give them a pass. I'm sure I'll still buy it, but they're going to have to make sure they show some games for real because Sony ain't going to be playing. They got the PS4 Pro. They know they haven't shown too much stuff for that. I know they're going to show that ridiculous Spider-Man game. And that junk looks bonkers. That's enough for me to cop that. And they got a bunch of other stuff up their sleeve. Like, they got Final Fantasy VII. They do have Knack 2. Who knows? That guy who developed it, I'll give him a chance because he admitted that the first one wasn't what he wanted to do. That's not how he wanted to develop it. It was a rush because it was a launch title.
Final Fantasy VII is coming to Switch.
Ooh. So that's a proper place for Final Fantasy.
That is. Tekken 7 is coming to the Switch. It's built on the Unreal Engine.
They can port it there.
Yeah.
So E3 is going to be telling. I hope Phil Spencer and them, they come with the guns because everybody's firing. So this
is the best and worst time to be a gamer. Best time because we got so much coming out. Worst time because we ain't got the time
No, we can't, like, so just to give you guys a heads up, the next podcast is after E3, because I ain't doing 2 and let E3 come through. I gotta let that joint come, digest, and it's gonna be litty, okay? After E3, there might be live streams right after, McKelly's YouTube channel. It might be full live reactions right after. We might just be in the parking lot with the camera, like, listen, we just seen some crazy stuff, because I know Sony ain't playing around.
Yeah.
But speaking of like conferences, there was Computex. A bunch of stuff got announced there. Oh man, speaking of wars, the chip wars is getting crazy.
Oh yeah.
Intel and AMD ain't playing no more. AMD, well, every time they get on stage, they're like, we're here for the enthusiasts, we're here to fight, we're bringing our best. Like, they're basically saying, like, we're not doing this no more. I know AMD years ago, they were struggling. They weren't the processor to cop. Everybody knows that. And it was their own fault. It was nobody else's. They just weren't doing what they could do. There was a moment in the beginning when they were the enthusiast choice. Then they let that go to Intel. Intel's a monopoly, so they ran that thing, and they still run it. Because when you look at computers that you buy, if you go on your Best Buy, Target, Fry's, wherever, Micro Center, you see Intel. Now, the big thing at Computex is all the major retailers came up on stage and said, we're using Ryzen on models. And they were excited. Not like, of course it's corporate spiel, so of course they're going to look all excited. But it's telling. Dell got a 27-inch one that's VR ready. That's undercutting whatever Intel would do to be on that same level in NVIDIA. Because the one thing that AMD does have is they make the chip and they make the GPU. So those two things becoming really good is making a package that can't ignore. I got a PC build, 6700K. I got a standard video card because I don't really be PC gaming, but that's obviously a very powerful, processor. I don't be maxing it out. I know that only occasionally from like rendering something, but for the most part, this AMD Threadripper. Intel i9. The Intel i9 is crazy, but you already know the price tag. This joint got, up to 18 cores?
Yeah. 36
threads. This joint costs 2 Gs. The 100 that's like 12 and 24, 12 cores, 24 threads is like $16.99. These just is hella expensive. And you're not even counting the new X299 boards they announced, which they do look awesome. I saw the Asus one. I don't know if you saw those boards, but those X299 motherboards from Asus and Gigabyte or Gigabit, however you want to say it, those joints look amazing.
They do.
I'm like, yo, whoever builds these is just gonna look crazy. But this Threadripper from AMD has my attention at full tilt. 16 cores, 32 threads. They're talking crazy with this price. I found something on TweetTown talking about the rumors this thing's gonna cost $850. Let me tell you something. This thing costs $850. And I'm selling a lot of things, okay? Like, that's all I'm saying. $850? Like, all I'm saying is, if this thing performs, I know Intel's going to edge them out.
Yeah.
But I think we've come to a cusp, a precipice, as you could say, that's not going to be enough for a lot of people. Edging out is not enough. Like, you need to destroy me. You know what I'm saying? I know some things have marketing, brand awareness, mind share. It's kind of like the person that argues that a Corvette can beat a Ferrari, but the people that can afford a Ferrari ain't hearing you. They're gonna be like, nah, that's a Chevy. This is a Ferrari. Stop it. But in the PC realm, the funny thing is, we are savvy to price to performance.
Yep.
However much we like power and people have brand awareness and are willing to pay for certain things, we actually do have a way of like looking at performance and price and like finding the best deal. That's why the Ryzen ones get they got such a big publicity. People are reviewing them and saying, man, this stuff is rock solid. It's not bad, it's good. So you got to take that into account. Now you're talking about $2,000, $1,700 chips. $2,000 chips. If one of these joints come in, don't let it outperform the 12 core at 1,700. If that joint slots right up on that 18 core, like let's say 5% down, I don't know. you got to be brand loyal.
True.
Intel need to sponsor your channel. I know J2 and those guys, they'll have one. But I'm saying, like, if you're really going to be out there buying, you're like, yo, I need a machine to render these videos I'm doing. I shoot in 4K. I got the drone, all this stuff. You looking for price to performance. And if this thing is coming anywhere near that 18 core, and if it's above the 12, now, if it's below the 12 and 18, then there might be some argument, but it would have to be substantially below for everybody to be like, oh, okay, well, there's a reason why it costs $1,700. It's double the performance, and the 18 core is triple. So yeah, guys, that's what you get. But I think AMD ain't allowing that to happen. I think they realized that before that was the excuse. So everybody was like, well, I mean, you're cheap for a reason. You're garbage, you know. You cheap now and you're good. I mean, I don't know what you can say. Like that's a problem. You know, that's something that I'm paying attention to. I do wish that there was a ITX board. I don't know if I'm asking too much, but they made an ITX board for the i9s and the Skylake X chips. The AMD chip is stupid. You saw how big that thing is?
Yeah. That thing was...
I'm like, that looks like a server chip. Like, you put that in your... Like, honestly, if I build something with that, I mean, I'm done. I'm hanging it up. I'm going to be like, I'll see y'all later. This is over. I mean, it's overkill. I just kind of want it because I'm just like, this sounds crazy. But, yeah, I want to know if they're going to do an ITX one. Because that would be cool to see. You know, I'd like to have something small, that powerful. Oh, speaking, did you see? You got to look this up. Did you see these cases that that company Fantex made called the Sky Scrapers or something? So mostly cases are like fat, wide, tall. They made these really thin ones. So you got to go like Fantex, or no, just look up Fantex is spelled PHAAN.
Oh, okay.
TEKS. I don't know if it's called Skyscraper or Skyline. I can't remember. Just put Fantech computer cases or something, because it's got to be on their main page. These joints is fire. I saw a video from some guy I follow on YouTube. I forgot his name, but he's a prominent computer YouTuber, and his joint looks dope. Let's see if you see it. No, that's not it. Wait, is that it? No. Maybe it's on there. It's got to be like on the newest. It says something like Skyline. I mean, at least I can find it on Twitter's. Anyways, like this case is like really thin. If any of y'all ever like seen like cases, I'm kind of big on like form factor, not being like a little out of control with it. Oh, it's called the Shift X. I don't know why I'm calling it the Skyline. The Shift X. If it's on that list. If not, just search it. But this is a dope looking case. Considering how thin it is. You can like lay it flat across your system and everything. I'll just search it. It was like barely, there was like one video on it and that was it. Like I didn't see any more videos on it. The Shift, put a space. You should see it now.
This thing?
Nope. Man, they really trying to... Hold on. Put a K, not an X. Fantex KS. No, put an X there. I Shift X. And then... Yeah. Then now... That should... These people got this thing on lock. Okay, well... We tried. But here. You can see it on here because Twitter obviously got it. But, see, it's like a tall case. It's like tempered glass. Yeah, Kel, he's now inspecting because it's looking crazy.
I can see you wanting this because of the space you'd save.
Yeah, I'm all about saving space. But I think I'm pretty sure it uses ITX or mini ITX. So that's always going to be a factor when it comes to how you're building it. But, the main thing of Computex was they had new motherboards and they had like new GPUs, a bunch of new 1080 Ti's. I don't have one of those yet. I still ain't got the money for that. Motherboards. It was really the processors, honestly. The Intel i9, the Skylake X, the AMD Threadripper, I mean, that was a big deal. So seeing the Intel chip war that's about to commence in AMD, it's gonna be crazy. Like all I'm saying is, if you're in the realm of building a high-end PC with a lot of cores, couldn't be a better time. Now, speaking of something I just mentioned, did you see the DJI Spark? Because you know they do drones, and I'm like,
oh, that's that one that a lot of people talking about.
That DV sent me.
Oh yeah.
I need this.
I don't know how to do that.
I just wanted a drone to have fun with. I mean, it was like that Mavic Pro. Now it shoots like 1080p, but some people were like the quality was good. I saw plenty of videos on YouTube. And I'm like, this quality's perfect, but I just wanted a drone to have, and I'm like, dang, them Mavic Pros for $1,000, the Phantom 4s for like $1,500 and stuff. That's a lot of money to accidentally crash. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need to crash that, but it's like super tiny. That's the Mavic Pro. That's the one that like folds up and everything. But on DJI's website, they got the Spark and DJ. Oh, you probably see it. Yeah, there you go. That thing is super compact. But it has all the stuff they have. Like you can do flight track. It can track you. It can work by hand controls.
VR.
It can, well, I mean, I guess they have that VR headset they're trying to have.
Yeah,
that first person one.
So it's not a gimmick anymore.
Well, that's those goggles. You know how expensive them things is? Yo, you better have, you ain't using them DJI goggles on a Spark. You better put that, what's that high-end one they have? The, like, Phantoms? Like, you better have the best one they got doing all that. And you better be shooting Fast and Furious 10.
Oh, they show a 2K resolution? That's pretty dope.
Dude, that thing is not a game. Like, you better not be at home taking a picture of the barbecue.
Okay, so...
Yeah, that's not...
I'm not going to call it a gimmick, so...
That's not VR, though. I mean, that's looking at first-person view of a drone. So that's a different perspective when you're, like, shooting real film. Like, that gives you the control. They already have that stuff. Like, you ever seen the guys with those giant drones looking at a screen?
Sure.
It's the same thing. It's on your face now. Yeah, you need, like, the Ronin 2. Okay, that thing is... I mean, do you see... They got a red camera hanging off this thing.
Yeah, I can take my YouTube to a whole new level.
You're gonna have that junk hovering outside this window on the street. They're gonna be like,
I'm gonna have that set up right there.
This man got the full exoskeleton gimbal. Like, if you don't get, you better be shooting a Scorsese flick. Okay, I better see nothing less than Inception. Like after you're done, your YouTube channel better be nothing but an edited movie every week. People are like, this cash shooting short films every week with the greatest screenwriters.
Oh my goodness! How much? I wonder if I can I put down a credit card?
You don't even have. You need the skills to edit whatever raw footage. There's no computer in this room right now, and you got fast computers that handle whatever raw footage is spitting out of some red camera. Raw, like 4K like that, dude, your computer would blow up on you. It'll be like, you playing around. I'm out. I'm committing suicide. Like this guy. Stop looking at go back to the Spark. That's exactly where you're at. I just wanted for something fun, that's all. So when I saw them announce it, it's still costs. It's still like when you get that.
I didn't make it go back to the Rona.
It's just cycling through. When you get that in the, you get like a little package with a controller, like an extra battery. It's like $6.99. But I mean, the next best thing starts at $1,000, so it's still a lot cheaper. But I want to get one because it'd be cool. Honestly though, I want to get one because it's like, whenever we're out these beaches, North Shore stuff, I'm always like, how am I not getting these shots while I'm here? Like, this is almost a disservice at this point. And I'm seeing more and more drones whenever we go somewhere. Like, we're on Magic Island. I'm hearing these like up in the air. And you ain't even got to be good. See, the thing about Hawaii, for anybody that doesn't know, you can be a trash photographer and hit a shot you'll be like, this looks crazy. Like, honestly, the landscape of Hawaii will make you give a backdrop. I've taken pictures with my phone from sunsets. I wasn't doing nothing special. People like, this shot's crazy. How'd you do it? I'm like, I pointed my phone at the sky. I was like, I didn't do nothing. Like, it was, there was no manual controls, no aperture. It's just, so I want to get one to just kind of catch these views, catch a little picture, and not something that costs an arm and a leg. So if I ever drop it or crash it, I'm not crying a river, So that'll be dope to have. Now, I know you got something to say about this, Mr. S8 owner. What do you think about this Essentials phone? Okay, the Android father made this, okay? Andy Rubin. He birthed Android, okay? He knows a thing or two. I mean, essentially, if he's the father, it's got to be the best one ever. I mean, throw your S8s out. The Android phone.
Honestly, I'm looking at this like right now and just there's nothing like this.
Well, it looks good. I'll tell them that. Now, I know the wraparound screen thing above the camera is kind of throwing people off, but I think they use that. It's an OLED screen, correct? I'm assuming it is if it wraps around like that.
Yep.
So, I think they use that top part for, like, notifications. Like, they use it for something. I think it can be full screen, like, it can use it, but it still intelligently, like, uses it for something else. I'll say that the build quality of this thing looks crazy. Titanium, ceramic, it looks dope.
The dock, he just put it down and...
Oh, yeah. See? Okay, so you didn't see all this. So this thing uses like magnetic. So anybody knows, this Essentials phone is made by Andy Rubin, who's a guy that created Android, right? So, you know these engineers, they have a beer one day and they're like, you know what's wrong with the world? The Android phone. I'm going to make my own now. So he made his own phone called the Essential phone. I'm not going to lie, the name's kind of weak, but they're marketing this as like the phone that's future. They said future-proof, which is a bold statement. Now, I can argue a couple things, right? I think we're kind of at the point now. It got the Snapdragon 835, 4 gigs of memory, fast storage, right? I mean, we're kind of at the point now where these phones should kind of last forever, right? I mean, the fact that they kind of slow down is really kind of on the battery, you know what I'm saying? So when he was saying future-proof, my first thing was, well, what about the battery when it starts draining faster? What do you do then? Are you guys taking these things in and putting new batteries in?
That color right there is gorgeous.
That green and that gold, that don't even need a case. I break that out and people be like, yo, I'm coming to all business deals like, yo, look at my phone, I'm like, we accept. So it uses a magnetic connector on the back because they basically want this phone to be very modular. So you can attach magnetically like a 360 camera. That base you saw is magnetic, you just drop it on there and it starts charging it. It uses its own like OS in a sense of like smart devices called the Essential OS or something. Like they might have speakers and some way to like do smart home things and things of that nature. And it's essentially stock Android at a very high end build quality, much higher than the Pixel, much higher than the Nexus. It's using higher materials than the Samsung S8, but the S8 is still a good phone. This is just using titanium and ceramic, so it just looks the part. Like they got a green and like rose gold one that looks pretty crazy. And it'll work on every carrier. So now obviously you got to buy it outright. So that's the first thing that's gonna hit the brakes on a lot of things because people like flipping phones every year. So you go for this. I mean, what's like $699 or something? I don't know the storage on it for $699 though.
Storage. Oh, 128.
Oh dang.
It's out the box 128.
That's what's up. Does it go higher or does it stay there?
It's expandable.
Oh yeah, because it does have a micro SD. So I mean, it has the 835.
It's got the same battery life as the S8 Plus.
How much memory this thing runs?
4 gigs of RAM.
So I mean, this is all the specs are there. I guess the only thing that this is gonna have to be judged on is this modularity. Is that even a word? Whatever. All this extra stuff, but I'm not even a 360 camera person, but the way that attaches to the phone and you can use it, I would try it out more. I'm not a 360 video person, to be honest. I feel like you gotta be really creative. Like it needs to be something fun, like for it to make sense. It can't just be like, yo, we in the mall, 360. That is, I think that's like their speaker, their home speaker. I said like with smart things.
That's nice looking.
The design and everything looks dope. Like the way the OS, I don't know if there's a skin on the OS or if it's just Android by itself, but I'm interested to see what the phone does. I want to know what the camera's up to. The build quality looks on point. Mikhail looking at this now, shaking his head like he's trying to find.
I'm about to contact him. You want me to do a review?
You're like, listen, I got the Pixel here. We need to do comparisons.
I mean, really, I would never put a case on that ocean depths, that green and gold. I would never.
They said that when you drop it, the whole point of that build quality is that when you drop it, it doesn't scuff anything like aluminum. He said he did drop test, it just bounces right back and ready to go. I'm like, I mean, I'm not trying that. Y'all can, because
I'll take his word for it.
I mean, yeah, I might, not accidentally try. I'm not just gonna be purposely out there. Like, let me see what he's talking about. Let me drop this thing on this concrete, see what happens.
Actually, it shows it right here.
I know.
There's no damage to it.
Yeah, they showed, but like the build on that it's solid. See, I shouldn't have showed.
On solid concrete, they dropped it.
I shouldn't have showed Mikhail this because now he's trying to find if he needs.
It's time to upgrade.
What are your thoughts on this?
I think it's lovely looking, but it's gonna be hard to get the masses to get away from Samsung.
Well, yeah, because Samsung, you can buy it on a carrier and you can pay them monthly, and you can flip it. Like, you buy your phones outright. I pay mine monthly because we're flipping them too fast. Like, they're never kept. Like, Andrea, my wife, doesn't keep them long enough to warrant paying it outright. Not them junks $850. Like, by this time next year, even before, when the S9 is right up on our backs.
I hit reserve.
Get out of here. You can.
Oh, they don't have the color. Never mind. They ain't got the color.
Oh, that color toast. Some people came in there and they're like, done. White one's still looking super crispy. Now,
I'm not gonna lie.
But you ain't gonna get that because you got this iPhone edition, whatever they're about to do, looking like they're about to have the screen, Touch ID in the screen, kind of crazy. That sounded kind of nuts. I've seen enough from that dude, Apple Insider Pro. He's like the premier Apple dude. Like, I don't know, he's like in Foxconn. But all I'm saying is, Touch ID in the screen, that's kind of impressive. Like, I don't know about everybody else. I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, everything else with the design is kind of like the same. I'm interested, though. I want to know what they're going to do with the cameras because they're putting them sideways. People said that's like this is when they're going to talk about AR and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what they can really do. They got their World Developers Conference coming up. So maybe they might talk about that. Probably a new watch OS. They're not going to change the watch. I mean, honestly, I have a watch, but there ain't nothing more to add to this. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do.
I think it's time for me to upgrade.
New memory? I mean, more faster? I mean...
Ooh, that newest update for Apple Watch hit my... When I hit my phone to the update, it's made my Apple Watch Gen 1 so slow.
Probably. That Gen 1 is out of there. They're like, listen, y'all gotta let that go. Like, for real. Everybody's like, yo, this junk is... Nah. And honestly, the Gen 1 was Gen 1. Gen 2 and after here is kind of like where you want to go. I mean, I like the squareness of the Apple Watch. I know everybody doesn't. They like the Samsung one is nice. You got the Frontier one. And that's a dope one, too, because it looks like a watch. This kind of looks like there's a screen on my wrist. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are like, yeah, you got something on your wrist. It's not a watch because it's a square. But I kind of like... I think outside of Samsung, this is the only other shape really to go. Unless you copy what Samsung did to basically make a full-facing, like, watch.
Because that's the Frontier.
Yeah, this one looks nice. It's more of a masculine. Well, the other one has a classic one. This one looks like a more sport-oriented one. Yeah, so unless somebody's going to copy this look, then, honestly, they landed on the most, what's the right word? Like, non-polarizing shape, I guess you could say. The only thing that Samsung's going to, when they get to doing, is going to make it even better. When they start making this thinner, when they can cram this stuff into a slimmer watch, that's going to be a serious problem.
Which I think they're going to do this 4th gen that's supposed to be dropping. Supposed to have like 3 different ones. One like the Frontier Classic and then a slimline one for women. Because what I really like about this, dude, that battery life on that is ridiculous. I haven't charged this in 2 days and I'm probably at 50.
I couldn't hear you. Please tell me again.
No. Okay, it's just wild. I don't know what happened. Okay, we're back. This thing is loud. For a watch speaker?
Yeah,
but
I'm at 42%. I haven't charged this in 2 days.
That's a very long... I don't know. I've had this on all day. What is my battery like?
And it tracks sleep. It seems like
I'm gonna check that.
the features that were in the Microsoft band, they've added to this generation.
Yeah, I was not speaking about that.
I knew you were gonna say that. Oh man, yeah. For y'all that don't know,
I told you I sold the last one. I sold that too. I had that last one. I was still in the box. I sold it for like $80.
Dude, we held on as long as we could.
Bro, I sold that for the most you can get. Like on eBay, them judges are going for like $40. I'm like, dang, I gotta get this off ASAP. So I mean, I sold that, but I mean, honestly though, that last one though, because I saw how many Andrea ran through because the wrist strap splitting and breaking, I was like, you got a little bit of a quality issue on this bad boy. And then they axed it. I mean, we're not getting into the Windows Phone. Not this podcast now. That's not.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it simple and just not talk about that.
I don't know if we can keep it civil. I mean, pretty much after this is the short. I don't know if this is really a shorter one, but I mean, we cover what we need to do. But
we cover everything.
I mean, to be honest, yeah, the only thing that's left is, I mean, you had some words for these Nintendo naysayers. This is when I leave the room.
Okay, I need to go on a little rant, okay? All these people that are complaining, let me put my phone down.
Yeah, put
my phone.
You bang your phone against the table in frustration.
Alright, I did a rant on YouTube.
Go check it out, Mikel Casanova, YouTube.
For real. I did this rant about, it started about Street Fighter 2, and it just went into the gaming industry as a whole, the internet, the trolls, how toxic it is. Okay, people are complaining about paying $40 for Ultra Street Fighter 2. You got people saying this is the same game as HD Remix that came out in 2008. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I have HD Remix. I got that joint when it came out. Yes, I spent $15. That game was trash. It was straight trash because they made that game so horribly unbalanced that they quickly stopped supporting it a month after releasing it. And just, they were done with it. It did so horrible. Now, they took the assets of the graphics of HD Remix and put them into the port on the Switch. They fine-tuned the gameplay, added new mechanics, and just made the online is solid. Like, I've never had any issues with the online. But you got all these people who never even touched the HD Remix, didn't even know it existed, until some YouTubers, yeah, shots fired, talked about it looking the same. And now you got all these people that don't even know anything about the HD Remix saying, oh, it's just the same port. You can save money and spend $15. But look, here's some of the benefits I'm going to throw out there. 2 new characters that don't play like the traditional Ryu and Ken. You got the fact that it's portable. I mean, you can just take this anywhere. Be out in the streets, see a friend. Who doesn't want to play Street Fighter 2? That game is timeless. Yes, they have milked the hell out of that game. But when you've got a perfect formula, what are you what are you gonna do to change that?
Y'all ain't mad at them 7-Eleven Slurpees, alright? Y'all don't be running up in there like, yo, 7-Eleven. It's time to change the recipe on these Slurpees.
For real. But it's portable. The online, they got a solid netcode, which Capcom reached out to Microsoft to help with the netcode.
See? I mean, you know, if it didn't cost $40, it wouldn't be that bad.
I mean, for real. I feel like people that keep making this complaint, like, oh, they want the game. Like, I had this one YouTuber, apparently I made the dude so mad because I was countering his logic of, he went from, oh, it's the worst thing ever. I want it to fail. I hate it. And then brought the conversation back to, I will buy it as soon as it's $20.
Yeah, I remember that. That cat played himself royally.
Yo,
I want the joint to fail. What if it's $20? And I cop. Like, what?
Like,
then you like it. You just, I mean, you may not. But I think you're open to not liking the price.
Exactly.
That's part of the course. I mean, who knows how much like this Xbox Scorpio is going to cost? It might come out there. I hope not. It'd be like $4.99. Everybody will be like, oh shoot. I ain't buying. But I mean, you have that right. But you can't. The price doesn't discount the quality of something, right? I mean, I already used that analogy with cars, but I mean, Rolls Royces cost $400,000. It ain't getting you to the supermarket any better, any faster than the Camry. It's just the build quality and the ride's better. Ain't no arguing that. You may not like the price, but the joint's good. So, yeah, it costs $40, but it's a good game. Like, it's not bad. And we're not doing this stuff. Like, this stuff ain't coming through for free. Like, I know maybe because the Switch is mobile that they kind of get thrown into this pool of, like, mobile games on Android and iOS, and they're like, well, I can get Tower of Defense for 99 cents or some other trash. Okay, I have, how many games I got on my phone? I have literally 4. One of them is Word Brain. The other 2 are racing games for Zuri, my son, so he can play something. And the other one is Mario Run. And I haven't even paid for Mario Run. I still got the first level. Like, I don't even care enough to even go past it and give him $10. Like, we're not gaming on the phone. I know somebody is. I know somebody out there is playing these first-person shooters on their phone. Like, we knew some people that were beasting on their phone, just about to heat up and melt. But you know what? It's Nintendo, man. Nintendo's getting their money. I mean, I told you, said this before. We didn't cop the Wii U the way we were supposed to. Nintendo getting this money from these damn accessories. These Joy-Cons costing $70. Mad expensive. I mean, look at this. Speaking of accessories, I mean, got the Ethernet cable.
Oh my God. I gotta speak on that too.
Hold on a second now.
Yo.
What is this steering wheel attachment? This was kind of crazy.
Oh, I gotta review that.
You got sent this?
Yeah.
These are dope. It looks like a little steering wheel. You got 2. I'm just talking about accessories on the Switch. The Switch is gonna make all this money from accessories because they're gonna get all of us. We all buying it. As soon as Smash Bros. Comes out with a special Joy-Con and Peach and Mario and Ice Climbers copped.
Yep.
We all falling for it. So what happened? I heard you went to GameStop.
Oh, yeah.
Girl told you that there is no LAN adapter for the Switch.
I asked for the USB to Ethernet. She's like, no such item has ever existed.
Yo, she said that with the utmost yo, she said that joint so confidently. She was like, no have ever been created in 2017. Like, she said that like you asked if there were still dinosaurs. She said that joint with the utmost confidence, like you were crazy. She was like, how dare you doubt my knowledge? I'm at GameStop. What are you doing?
Then I was like, okay, USB to LAN. She's like, I've never heard of anything like that.
Stop hitting her with some IT slang, okay? You over there like, yo, you got USB to IE8, A6494. They're like, you got that LAN to RJ45. She's like, no, dog. Never been. You try to say, you said LAN like if you said it slower and enunciated, she would understand. LAN? She's like, no, never. I've been here for 10 years. Never.
Oh, man.
You need to stop going to these GameStops.
I swear.
We ain't got no choice, though.
We really don't.
Literally, there's no choice anywhere. It doesn't matter where you go. It's Best Buy, Target, Walmart, GameStop, Amazon online. But Amazon, I don't know. I can't be... Yo, I've seen our friend Miguel. He been getting played and then it shows up. I've seen too many people delayed games on Amazon. I can't be messing with them. I want that junk the day it drops if I want it. I'm not messing with y'all. When y'all get that together, when them drones is in the air, I mean, they ain't coming to Hawaii, but... I mean, anything with Amazon Hawaii is like, it ain't no next day air. It's next day week.
Pay that extra shipping and get it. Oh, you'll get 2 weeks sooner.
But you know what? Amazon does do that a lot because I got that exam cram book, the A plus 901 and 902, and it said it was showing up on Monday, and then yesterday it's like it's arriving today. I'm like,
oh yeah, I've had that happen too. It's so random.
I'm like, what the heck are y'all doing? You ain't got you might just went in the air and y'all don't know where the plane went. And they're like, well, maybe Monday, maybe today. That book is mad thick. Let's just say that.
Ain't like that. Man.
It's intense. I mean, we're speaking about this because with my boy here, he's going through the test.
Oh man,
test ain't easy. Like,
it's.
I've seen the book. I mean, we know a lot, but like I flipped through that book and I was like, oh snap. snap.
And they get you on not even the terminology. You know it, but they use the most convoluted ways of saying something basic.
I've seen the questions. They're like double entendre. It's like you're reading some Nas lyrics. You're like, hold on. Wait. Did he mean... Oh, what's he talking about? He's talking about himself? Wait. So am I the third person? Wait, so I'm the computer. Okay. Where would I put A, B, and C? Like, I mean, I guess they help, but you know what I've noticed is like, even at this new job I have now, there's a lot of things to learn. Like, they got this, it's kind of weird because like they got this intranet site and they edit it through Notepad++, like full code. And like, because a girl knows how to do it because she's been here for 3 years. So she's like, oh, whenever you want to edit something on here, you just come here. You don't delete it. You comment it out. I'm like, oh,
wait,
snap.
Is she using Python?
No, they're using just Notepad. It's a very basic internal website that has
they
like.
Just get on Wix.
Well, no, they want to get rid of it. Like the IT manager wants to get rid of it and use something else. But for now, they have this really old, and they still do updates on it. Like they the other day they're like, oh, we need to update something for a luncheon for the lawyers, and we went in there today and we're like in the middle of the code doing stuff and changing things, and I'm like, this is it's not really hard. I just need to do it, honestly. Like, I haven't done it, so I haven't done enough to remember. Like, I know about it, but when you don't use something and apply it every day, you ain't gonna just know. You know the concept, but it's like, all right, I still need to do this. So honestly, most of that stuff, the good thing is like the team there, they're not, I'm not gonna shy away from asking them, like, all right, show me how to do this the right way, because even if my strength isn't that per se, I have them other places, so I'm never concerned. Some people probably worry like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, if I don't know, I don't know, but I know other things, And they also have, I'm also getting used to having like a system. Like, they got everything documented that they've ever done. I'm used to like literally thinking on the fly, like being at a school and they're like, yo, my computer don't work, and everybody just staring at me, and I'm like, oh, let me find out. Me literally looking stuff up on my phone, searching through questions and forums, like, wait, what is this problem and how do you fix it? So now they actually have a lot of this document they've dealt with before, so it is a little easier. Like, I kind of approach it in a very organic way, because I asked them, like, okay, so if a person says they have an issue printing, what do? You go to their computer and check it out? He's like, nah, we just remote in, just see if they can print. If not, we'll just like document and see if it happens again. I'm like, that's easy. If I was at the school, they'd be like, yo, get here ASAP. Be over there loading, downloading drivers, rebooting computers, refreshing stuff, like doing all types of junk. And then it may work or it may not work, or if it does, I may not know exactly what I did to get it to work. I just did a bunch of things and it finally woke itself up. But, I mean, the potential's there, because really it's just going to be me, the guy that runs, he's a systems administrator, and then there's an IT manager, and that's it. So the team is tight, but I like it that way because that means we can move. There's a lot of projects they got coming up. That means we can move in the right direction, and I can jump in on stuff and projects and things like that, because I'm putting myself everywhere.
Dude,
Told
that's
you.
actually cutting a lot of noise out. Cause like, you take this off.
Oh yeah. Somebody's like, yo, ain't you shooting this podcast in the hood? You know, everybody hears like a siren, they always think you're 2 seconds away from gunshots. Like, remember we used to play Destiny Online, me and Josh, and we used to be in an old apartment on Lusitana by the freeway, and we were right by the hospital, and then you would hear the ambulance come down our street, and people would be like, yo, y'all in the hood? And we were like, nah, we just live next to a hospital, B. Like, damn, like, just because it's sirens doesn't mean this is like Chicago. Like, we not in the streets. Like, Hawaii's tight. You're going to hear sirens. I mean, I can hear sirens where we're at all the way up in the hills. Just echo. We just got mountains. Sound just echoes off these buildings and stuff. And you dead up on the corner. I mean,
with a fire station.
Miguel can put his hand out and give somebody a dap at the light.
That's so true.
Like, what up? Like, how are you feeling? I'm feeling good.
No, but congratulations on the new job, though.
Oh, man, thank you. That's great. School's still calling me about stuff. I literally saw a text message today like, yo, I forgot my login. I'm like, yo, seriously? I'm not even there anymore, guys. Yeah. I helped the teacher, but I told him, I'm like, yo, I'm not there. They're like, what? Who's going to help us in the summer? I'm like,
sounds like you got a problem there. It's not yours.
I know you're about to go back, unfortunately.
Oh my God.
You're running up on your time is done.
I've had 3 months off.
You don't even want to work no more. You want to live that millionaire life. You're like, yo, how can I not ever work again? See, you took too long. You've been off for like 90 days. You don't even know what a job is. You're going to wake up on time and be like, this is... So you're going to walk in there mad. You're going to be like, I can't believe this.
Yep, I'm already mad. I'm getting mad as it is because
You got 2 weeks.
I got people hitting me up like, oh, we need to, have more... to build community with our coworkers, we need to start hanging out outside of work.
Bums out of here. They gonna hear this jump and be like, yo, who's that? Somebody, man, you can come find me. I'm down there now too, okay?
Right?
Y'all don't want to hire excellence because I was gonna take over. Now I'm taking over somewhere else.
No, man, and like I said, like one of the I don't even think I even spoke on. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. One of the reasons I have gone to the extent of trying to get my A+ certification and all these other certs is because for the last year, and I don't care if my boss or whoever I work with hears this podcast, because I got to speak my mind, and I'm not on company property to say this. But for the nonsense I went through for the last year, from someone coming from retail over to IT and being told that I don't belong in that industry because I don't have a degree, that I don't deserve to be there, other people are more willing, like who? And this coming from a dude with a freaking art degree.
You don't need a degree to do, honestly, I mean, we've already had this discussion. You don't need a degree to do a lot of stuff in this world. Now, if you have the setup where you're coming out of high school and you have parents supporting you and saying go to college, tuition's paid, this and that, or that's something you need to do, then go ahead and do it. But, this world is built on knowledge is key, right? And if in the IT world, I don't have a degree in IT and I work in it. It's because I apply myself to the knowledge that's available. Going for certifications, things like that. That's what we're doing because that's what matters. That's the knowledge that matters. Like, and even if, and I think people get so caught up on, like, the worry, like, they see these, like, articles saying, if you don't have a degree, you're going to make $400,000 less than the next degree person in a lifetime. As a whole, they're probably right. Because, I mean, if you didn't do anything, like I went to school for something else, but if you didn't do anything, or you don't have a trade or something, then I get it, right? If you're just working at Target, I mean, unless you really, really apply yourself, yeah, you probably can make it up to manager or store manager or something like that. But, I mean, as a whole, they're probably right. But there's still a pocket of people that are like, I'm flourishing either way. Like, I'm not getting stopped either way. It don't matter. Now, you could tell me you need a degree in something or something like that. I'm still coming up in the building. Like, it doesn't matter. Because I'm just going to show the knowledge. I'm going to show the personality. I'm going to show the willingness to learn. And that gets you places. And if not, I'm still going to keep grinding for it. Like, I think people get so worried, like, if I don't do X, Y, Z, I'm going to be homeless. I'm like, okay, I mean, if your goal is to make $250,000 a year, I mean, you can't even necessarily say, I'm going to go be a lawyer. You might be a garbage lawyer. Like, this ain't Suits. Like, you may not be no crazy high-paid lawyer. There's plenty of bad lawyers, okay? Like, there's bad doctors. You know what I'm saying? And I know people's degrees not making nowhere near what I'm making. Like,
because one of the big things is they trying to pay off their college debt.
There's no way to get me to go back to college on anything. Not with the rate them John's call. And I thought about it. For a minute, I was going to go to school in Houston, Texas for marketing. Like, I was really close. I had done the orientation. I was, like, talking to them. I was like, all right, let me fill out all these financial aid. Let me see if I can get a grant for the Black Man Association or whatever. And then, like, I started thinking about the cost. And I'm like, this is going to cost me, like, $60,000. I'm like, why am I don't want to pay back $60,000. Like, me paying back, not something like, you can pay it back and then you're back on your feet. I'm not paying $60,000 back in 5 years, not 10 years. I mean, that's $15,000. You know, if I do it in 5 years or 4, it's $15,000 a year. Like, I still gotta work and live. I'm gonna be paying that junk off forever. And I'm like, that's still debt. And I think that's how my mind looks at it. I'm like, yo, you can go to school, excellent. If you can get there, live at home real quick, pay it off. But like, if you're already out there, got a family like myself and things like that, I mean, I do well for myself. So I don't have any worries or concerns. I don't ever be like, oh man, what if I get kicked out? I can't get back in. I can't get another job or nothing. There's too many ways I can do it, right? I call up Microsoft. I do an interview for their store, and I turned down the other one because I had already gotten this job with this law firm, but they were ready to be like, yo, you need to come on board. Like, it's good to go. Let's do this. You need to be the business representative. You know how to talk to people. Like, there's ways to get there, right? We live in this world where there are ways to get there. Certain jobs, yeah, they need a degree. I mean, you want to be a lawyer, then I mean, I don't think you can just fake it. I mean, that's TV. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a nurse, things like that. You know, like there are places for it. But I think if you're willing to apply yourself for a lot of things, you can do anything you want to accomplish.
That's very true.
Like, if you get yourself caught up in thinking that you have to have a certain thing, then you can kind of lose focus. Now, if you want to grab it and you have the means to get it, go ahead. Ain't nobody knocking somebody going to Harvard or college. I mean, there's nobody like, you stupid. Now, if you go there and come out as a psychology major, I'm be like, all right then. What you gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? If you come out there like, yo, I'm a master in English literature. I'm like, are you writing novels and screenplays? And like, are you really getting down with or you just coasted through and just came out with a degree? Because that's a lot of people. But I mean, I chose IT as well because that's what the future is. Like, this ain't going nowhere.
No,
This is all this is gonna do is build. I mean, I don't care what avenue it is. It can be cloud storage, it can be desktop support, it can be networking, it can be security, it can be training. This junk ain't going nowhere. It is only increasing. I worked in schools, they're trying to go one-to-one. Like, I want to get to the training aspect because that's where I like it. I have fun explaining all this complex stuff into relatable terms. So this world, I mean, they're trying to have robots driving cars. There's a lot of back into that.
Yep. Okay?
All the autonomy, driverless cars, yeah, they're going to need somebody to keep them systems up and running. That's where we going to be at. Okay? Like, ain't going nowhere. They're going to need people. Desktop support, even if you wanted to stay there, there's a huge market for that because companies roll out new software, new hardware, and people still need to learn it again. They still need support. And I think that support role is going to be bigger than people realize. Like, I know a lot of it now is like, yo, get CCNA, get security. But I'm like, there's something for support because there needs to be a dynamic between the hardware and the software and the people. There has to be somebody there to speak it. Let me break this down to you. Let me talk to the security guys and explain to you why we have this firewall in place. Let me tell you what this means to you. Like, there needs to be, because like I said, like in our job, there's a lot of people that are introverted because that's kind of the industry. And I'm introverted, extrovert in certain facets. Like, I can be in my own world, or I can be out in front of people. And so I can get in front of people and talk and have a conversation.
Yeah, I can tell somebody to go home and get some sleep, and I'm bullying them.
You need to stop bullying people. Stop telling people to take naps, okay?
Oh man, God, I don't want to go back to that job.
You were, you're on the countdown. It's the second. 13 days. See, what's really gonna hit you, right? It's really gonna hit you after we see this E3 thing. Cause see, right now it'll rush all the way to E3 because we're all excited, and then after that Monday the 12th, you can come out the theater and be like, "Yo, I go back in 3 days."
Anyway, I just want to end out my segment of this little expose, rant, whatever you want to call it.
Keep it organic here, we keep it real. It's real people, real lives. Yo, I forgot to talk about this. I know you're going to be like, oh, snap. Second, I remember you should wait on the MacBook Pro because they're supposed to be announcing something at the conference.
I heard.
See, you get the
That's
brakes. You hit the brakes. But you talk about the Surface Pro, which is an update. The Surface Pro is an update of hardware. They got rid of the Skylake. They run Kaby Lake. I heard it's slightly thinner or something. Honestly, at this point, I know people are looking for something radical, and I'm like, the only thing that they could possibly do is like even out the bezels if they really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
the cellular modification on it is gonna be dope.
That's the biggest thing. That comes out. I kind of don't know why it comes out so late. I'm like fall. I'm like why?
I'm holding out for that.
Then we got
T-Mobile. Slap it on a T-Mobile network.
Oh yeah, they got the digits thing too.
Yo, we can talk about that next podcast because yo, I'm using digits. I love it. I even tagged T-Mobile in a tweet about it, and they're expecting a review.
That's what's up.
They're gonna push it. That's cool. Well, digits is the truth.
Well, another episode's good. It might be a little bit of a delay, like I said. It's the second. I mean, we could do one next week, but I mean, it would probably honestly after. I don't know what day E3 ends, but I'm sure it's going to be one like that following. So maybe do one next week in case anything goes down. It's Tech Etc. You can catch us SoundCloud, Tech Etc. Podcast, Tech Etc. Podcast on YouTube. That's where most is going to be because I'm going to get a better. I'll have to pick one of these host engines and then it'll just be kind of flooded everywhere. There's a podcast app or whatever, and you can catch it there. So once I pick one of these guys and create a website like Wix or something or Squarespace, then it'll be hosted there because I do them on SoundCloud, but it takes away the oldest one, puts up the newest one because they want me to give them more hours. But
well, if you ever do live streaming and you want to put it on video and audio input, Restream.io is the best way to go because they put it on everything.
I'll check that out too.
Yeah, when I stream now, like I hit one button on this application, it streams to everything.
Yeah, we're probably about to also record this too. I just realized something. This is actually in the angle good that you could use that. Just point it here. So we're about to have video of us just chilling at a table
in 4K.
In 4K. That joint's gonna take a grip to render. This joint be sitting on my computer like, yeah, I'm just going to sleep. I'll wake up tomorrow, see if it happens. But anyways, see you again. It's Cameron, Mr. Biggs, Tech Etc. Podcast. My boy here.
It's your boy Mikhail Casanova. Having a good one. You can catch me on YouTube. Wilding out as always. Ranting here on Tech Etc. Podcast.
This is where we rant. Anyways, thanks for listening again. Once this is more interactive, y'all be throwing more comments on this joint. But I'm going to keep doing this because, I mean, I like doing it. So, holla at us later.
All right.
We'll see you on the next one.
Deuces wild.